In the year 2000, a remarkable assembly of the world's top mathematicians convened at the Collège de France in Paris. Their mission was simple: to pinpoint 7 of the most formidable, long-standing mysteries in mathematics. Overseen by the non-profit Clay Mathematics Institute, this gathering gave birth to the Millennium Prize Problems. To incentivize breakthroughs, the Clay Institute pledged a $1 million reward to whoever could provide a valid proof of any one of these 7 enigmas. To date, one of these puzzles has been definitively resolved. Back in 1904, Henri Poincaré, a French mathematician, formulated a question about the properties of three-dimensional spaces. He proposed that if a three-dimensional shape lacked any holes, it could, without cutting or tearing, be manipulated into the shape of a perfect sphere. From a topologist's perspective, the concept is even more extraordinary. In topology, a cushion and a ball are regarded as fundamentally the same, since one can be deformed into the other without incisions. Likewise, a coffee mug and a bagel share a topological essence because each has exactly one hole, making them equivalent in the eyes of a topologist, even though neither is a sphere. Poincaré's conjecture suggested that any compact, three-dimensional object without holes is topologically equivalent to a sphere. He was convinced his intuition was correct, but never managed to prove it rigorously. And while the conjecture was verified in 4 and higher dimensions, the original three-dimensional case remained unsolved and exasperating for mathematicians for a full century. Then, in 2002, a quietly posted manuscript appeared online. Inside its pages was a solution to Poincaré's century-old riddle. Its author, Grigori Perelman, a reclusive Russian mathematician. Grisha grew up in the Soviet era, attending an elite mathematics-focused high school in St. Petersburg. He stood out not just for his brilliance, but for his single-minded attention. While his classmates might have chattered or taken lunch breaks, Grisha remained laser-focused, sometimes even skipping meals to keep learning. His teacher, Valery Reichek, once told a journalist that perhaps every fiber of Grisha's nervous system was dedicated entirely to absorbing mathematical knowledge. At 16, Grisha earned a gold medal at the International Mathematic Olympiad with a flawless score. Since he competed on the Soviet team, he was allowed to enter Leningrad State University without the usual grueling exams. This privilege helped him circumvent discriminatory admissions quotas that severely limited the number of Jewish students admitted each year. After his undergraduate studies, Perelman embarked on graduate work at Steklov Mathematical Institute in St. Petersburg. This was a rare achievement for a Jewish mathematician in the Soviet Union. He managed it with the support of influential figures like Alex Alexandrov, who personally advocated on his behalf. Beginning graduate studies in 1987, Grisha found the Soviet Union on the brink of tremendous change. As strict travel restrictions gradually eased, the eminent mathematician Mikhail Gromov arranged for Perelman to lecture in the United States, where his talk on geometry impressed top mathematicians. Through Gromov's strategic introductions, Grisha secured postdoctoral positions at NYU's Corinth Institute and at Stony Brook University. While he was thriving academically in the U.S., Perelman also savored simple pleasure. One of his favorite pastimes was trekking all the way from Manhattan to southern Brooklyn to procure a special type of Russian black bread. He later moved to the West Coast to accept a prestigious Miller Fellowship at UC Berkeley. As his fellowship concluded, America's top university tried to recruit him. After a lecture at Princeton that left the faculty awestruck, the department heads requested his CV, presumably to discuss a faculty position. Perelman's terse response was something along the lines of, "Why would you need anything else?" As Masha Gessen recounts, Perelman wanted nothing short of a guaranteed tenured slot, while Princeton expected him to earn that status over time. He walked away from their offer. Even Tel Aviv University's proposal of a full professorship did not sway him. He explained that he worked more effectively back home and returned to Russia to continue his research at the Steklov Institute. Back in his homeland, Grisha toiled in near silence on one of the most challenging mathematical conundrums ever posed. His eventual approach to solving Poincaré's conjecture came through proving another influential idea first. In the late 1970s, American mathematician William Thurston has suggested that any three-dimensional shape could be decomposed into 8 fundamental geometric forms. A perfect three-dimensional sphere is one of them, directly linking Thurston's theory to Poincaré's conjecture. Thurston himself never managed to fully prove his idea. Another American mathematician, Richard Hamilton, tried a different route. He aimed to tackle both Poincaré's and Thurston's conjectures using an innovative technique. Although Hamilton did not solve them, he created a powerful framework that Perelman later refined and employed. Perelman built upon Hamilton's notion of Ricci flow, a process that can be likened to applying heat to a shape so that bumps and irregularities even out over time. Under Ricci flow, certain regions stretch into thin necks. Ricci's key insight was to perform what he called surgery on these neck areas, cutting them off and analyzing the resulting pieces separately. Through this meticulous examination, he demonstrated that these segments corresponded exactly to the fundamental geometric shapes Thurston predicted. By confirming Thurston's vision, Perelman indirectly solved Poincaré's conjecture. He realized his results in 3 papers totaling nearly 1,000 pages. When the first paper appeared on the online preprint server, arxiv.org, Perelman emailed roughly a dozen American mathematicians to alert them. This was the first contact with most of them in years. For the next 3 years, mathematicians across the globe dissected Perelman's arguments to ensure there were no flaws. One person notably absent from the efforts was Richard Hamilton. Perelman felt slighted by Hamilton's silence, believing the man whose groundwork he relied upon did not fully acknowledge his achievement. I had the impression he only read the first part, Perelman told the New Yorker. Why might Hamilton have been aloof? As Masha Gessen suggests, Hamilton had invested decades trying to surmount the very barrier that Perelman's initial steps leapt over with ease. To witness someone effortlessly conquer what had stymied him for so long must have been difficult. Meanwhile, other mathematicians who embraced Perelman's work invited him to lecture in the United States. By 2006, a consensus emerged. He had conclusively solved Poincaré's conjecture. Then came a bewildering development. 2 mathematicians from China, Cao Huandong and Zhu Xingping, published a paper claiming they had proved Poincaré's conjecture and heralded their result as a crowning achievement. But the mathematical community understood the credit belonged entirely to Perelman. When offered the $1 million Millennium Prize, Perelman turned it down. As he told Russian newspaper, "If I already know how to control the universe, why would I chase $1 million?" He also refused to accept the Fields Medal, mathematics' most revered honor, often likened to the Nobel Prize.
A Fields Medal is awarded to Grigori Perelman.
He simply did not attend the award ceremony in Madrid. The presenter expressed regret at his absence.
I regret that Dr. Perelman has declined to accept the medal.
But Perelman was unmoved. He later explained to the Telegraph that he had no interest in public recognition. To him, the media's fascination with personalities over substance was a waste. "I do not believe anything I say should matter to the general public," he remarked, criticizing newspapers for promoting self-publicity at the expense of discernment and taste. This was one of the rare instances he granted an interview. Generally, Perelman had little patience for probing questions. Once, when a journalist reached him by phone, he replied curtly, "You are disturbing me. I am picking mushrooms." Not even lucrative offers from elite institutions like MIT, Princeton, or Columbia tempted him. The prominent mathematician and investor Jim Simons, who had transformed Stony Brook into a leading math center, supposedly offered Perelman any salary and conditions he desired. Perelman still said no. He returned to Russia in spring 2004, resumed work at Steklov Institute, and rose to lead researcher, earning about $400 a month. On one occasion when he received extra pay due to unspent grant funds, he insisted on returning it to the Institute's accounting department. He lived according to principles no one else could sway. By December 2005, Perelman left Steklov Institute entirely. According to Gessen's account, he told the director something along the lines of, "I have no grievances against anyone here, but I don't have friends, and I'm disillusioned with mathematics. I want to pursue something different. I'm quitting." Soon after, Perelman withdrew not only from the scholarly community, but from public life. Information about his later activities is scarce. There is a widely circulated photograph that supposedly shows him looking worn and removed from the acclaim he had chosen to forfeit. As for the prize money he refused, the Clay Institute allocated it to establish the Poincaré Chair at the Henri Poincaré's Institute in Paris, a temporary position designed to support promising young mathematicians. Perelman's journey offered a powerful commentary on genius, ambition, and personal values. It demonstrates that intellectual triumphs can stand apart from the conventional markers of success: money, awards, and public praise. Thank you for watching.